It's a huge warehouse fire. It rages in Oakland. We've been covering it since the start. Flames shooting through the roof and black smoke visible. Hopefully it's dissipating right now. We're live on the scene as firefighters battle this blaze. It is near the Coliseum.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
All right, topping our news right now, we're continuing to follow the breaking news in Oakland as fire crews battle a raging warehouse fire. Large dark plumes and flames erupting from a business near the BART track. So let's go to where the fire is burning. It is on East 8th Street, and you can see it's just north of the Oakland Coliseum right there. Our Andrea Nakano arrives on the scene just a few minutes ago, so she's going to bring us the latest from what is happening right now. These are aerials from Chopper 5. Andrea, are you on the ground right now so you can give us the latest? All right, there we go. Andrea. All right now we're going to get her audio going. She is, as you can see, by the BART tracks there and near where the fire. Take another live look so you can see firefighters there mopping up and white smoke. So that's obviously a good sign, a little less smoke than what we were seeing about 15 minutes ago. And let's go now to Andrea Nakano. Andrea, do we have?
Yeah, Juliette, can you hear me now? Hello, Juliette.
Yes,
Hello?
Andrea, yes.
Hi.
Tell
Okay,
us where
I'm
you
here
are.
on San Leandro Street. Okay. I'm on San Leandro Street, right by Seminary. We're just a few blocks away from this fire, and I want you to take a look behind me. As you saw from some of the aerials earlier today, there was thick black smoke coming from that area. Firefighters have made amazing, kind of smoky, but not nearly as bad as it was before. There is a fire right here, right on several patrol cars. Now we are several blocks away from the fire, so we are not surrounding buildings were impacted by this fire, and that's why that fire engine is stationed there. We are hearing that there are about 80 firefighters on scene fighting this 4-alarm fire. When we were driving down here, we could see the thick black smoke as it drifted east up towards the Oakland Hills. We have learned, and we have heard the sound of what appears to be fireworks already in this neighborhood, but there is no indication so far that this was fireworks related. All we know right now about this location is that the fire started in an industrial building that appears to be.
All right, and that's Andrea Nakano. She is the scene of the fire. You can see all of the white smoke, obviously a lot going on, and it's a windy area. Good time to bring in Paul Hagan to talk about the conditions. Obviously hard to hear her talking because of the conditions there.
Yeah, the wind getting into the microphone there, you can hear that whipping around. Now, the wind in that specific vicinity isn't being registered as being all that strong, but there are some stronger gusts around it. So let's get into the details of that, and then we'll talk about the 4th of July forecast as well. The closest sensor is registering winds that are at 9 miles an hour, gusting up to about 19 miles an hour. That's near the Oakland Coliseum, but just a few miles away at the Oakland Airport, they're registering 19-mile-an-hour sustained winds with gusts up to 29 miles an hour. So that westerly wind, the onshore breeze, has been keeping us cool throughout the day, but it's been complicating the efforts of fire crews at first, and Ned's blowing that smoke downwind. Fortunately, as they've been knocking down the fire, I'm less concerned about air quality downwind of that particular fire as we head through the rest of this evening, and just a handful of air sensors even dipped into the moderate category for air quality a little bit earlier this evening, about half an hour to 45 minutes ago. So let's take a look at the forecast on a happier note for fireworks this evening. We have clear skies out there right now. We are going to be seeing a little bit of fog trying to develop, but it's mainly going to be low cloud cover instead of fog right at ground level, and the base of those clouds should be high enough that the fireworks should mostly burst underneath the base of those clouds, which means visibility should be fine. Just layer up if you're heading out this evening with temperatures dipping into the 50s, and it is still going to be breezy. Take a look at the rest of the holiday weekend in just a few minutes. Juliette?
Another look at the smoke from the fire. Let's go to our Citizen app if we can. We have some video to show you. It shows black smoke casting a dark cloud over this Oakland neighborhood. Look at that. That's when it first started. This was at the peak of the fire when Oakland fire crews were just getting on the scene. They were fighting this fire from the outside. All right, now I want to give you another look. This is from Chopper 5. Look, there are the aerials. A much different picture right now. It's going in and out right now. A lot less smoke, as you can see. Fire crews getting a handle on it. We'll certainly keep an eye on this. We have Andrea Nakano and other reporters on the scene. Our Katie Nielsen also getting the latest information from fire officials. So we'll stay on top of this on this very busy 4th of July. All right, we want to get to some other news right now. Morgan Hill police and local authorities are searching for a man they say is a person of interest in the death of a teenager. 18-year-old Marissa DiNapoli was reported missing by her family earlier this week. Family and friends launched their own search and found her body near Anderson Lake a few days later. As Dahlin reports, police are now trying to track down the man they believe was the last person to see her alive.
The person of interest is believed to be either the victim's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. Morgan Hill police have yet to locate him. While they're calling him a person of interest, the victim's family is convinced he killed her. Family and friends remember 18-year-old Marissa DiNapoli as a sweet, loving teenager.
She was really ambitious, she was kind, and she was really warm-spirited.
Marissa's sister, Monice Ramirez, along with other family members and friends, held a vigil Thursday night near Anderson Lake, where her body was found.
When I think of Marissa, I think of love, right? I think of how much I love her.
Family and police are asking the public for help locating the person of interest, Martin Mendoza. Police believe he may be driving a white Toyota Camry with one of two possible license plates, CW87W00 or 9PTM351. Marissa's family reported her missing on Monday. They shared this video on social media showing Marissa and Martin Mendoza leaving a house together on Sunday morning. The family says he later returned Marissa's car to that same house alone.
It's stuff like this that's happening that makes you not trust anybody or anything.
The tragedy has once again shaken the small, tight-knit community. 13 years after the disappearance of Sierra Lamar, who police say was kidnapped and killed.
I just feel so bad. This is so heartbreaking. It's we live in the same town, and I can't even imagine what our parents are going through.
Family and friends say Marissa and Martin were in a relationship and there were signs of abuse or domestic violence. Now they want to find the man they believe holds the answers about what happened.
I know she was struggling to get out of the relationship for a really long time. It's not like this was her first time trying to leave and stuff.
Police are not saying where they're searching for the person of interest, whether it's locally or out of state. As for Marissa, she just graduated from high school and was set to attend a local college this fall.
Coming up, human remains found at the fireworks warehouse that exploded earlier this week in Yolo County. We have new details after the break. Stay with us. Authorities in Yolo County say human remains have been found after Tuesday's explosion at a fireworks warehouse, but they have not yet positively identified those remains. 7 people still unaccounted for after the explosions. Law enforcement had said it was just too dangerous to send people in because of the volatility of the fireworks and other explosives. Some family members say they've gone onto the grounds themselves.
No police, no fire department, no agencies, nobody. It was just my husband and me inside in there.
The warehouse was cited as a storage facility for commercial fireworks, but the director of the Yolo County Planning Commission said the company Devastating Pyrotechnics has no local licenses to store fireworks on the property. All right, I want to get back to that breaking news out of Oakland. A warehouse fire burning near the Coliseum, flames gutting the inside of the building. This is on East 8th Street. We also saw RVs parked nearby on the fire. At this point, we don't know what sparked the fire. We do have 2 crews on scene to get the latest information. Oakland fire officials just gave an update to our Katie Nielsen, who is there right now. And Katie, what did they say?
Yeah, so Juliet, we've just got a lot of information. We have the chief right here, so we're going to ask him a few questions in just a few minutes. But what they told us is when this first call came in, they were told that the reporting party was actually inside the warehouse when the fire started and said that this was a grow operation. They said it was a wind-driven fire. So immediately the flames spread to a building nearby. There were also a number of RVs and cars that were on fire when firefighters arrived. So what they did is took a very defensive position very quickly and did what we call surround and drown to try to make sure that they put a lot of water on this fire to protect some of the nearby houses. And we'd actually like to talk with the fire chief now. Chief, if you could, tell us a little bit of information about what happened, the time the call came in, and how the crews attacked this.
Yeah, call came in just prior to 5 o'clock. Came in as a possible structure fire. Upon arrival, immediately went to a second, a third, and then a fourth alarm. Heavy fire on arrival of the crews. Building was almost completely involved when we got crews on scene. We have approximately 75 firefighters on scene right now. We've stopped the forward progress of the fire. There are certainly still hot spots. We'll be out here for the foreseeable future, making sure that the fire is completely out.
And when we're talking about a fire of this magnitude, when people are getting on scene, what are the tactics? I mean, obviously life safety is the priority first, and then what happens? So can you kind of walk us through the thought and methodology of those firefighters?
Yeah, so on initial arrival, the first thing we wanted to know is if there's anyone in the building. The building was so involved by the time we got here. We got word from OPD that there was one person that was in the building that was out of the building. So we went to a defensive mode immediately. Defensive mode means that we're not going internal. The fire's too far involved, and we don't think there's any life safety issues or anyone that needs a rescue inside. So we're going to stay outside and fight the fire from a defensive mode.
And can you tell me about some of the other property structures that also were involved in this fire past just the warehouse?
Yeah, this was a complicated fire. You know, not just the square footage of the warehouse, which is a large building, but we had 3 cars and 3 RVs going on arrival as well. So those RVs were starting to get some of the residential buildings in the area. The eaves were starting to smoke. The roof was starting to get involved. It really was the quick actions of our crews that kept this from being a 2 or 3 block fire.
2 or 3 block fire. Did this really have the potential to be that?
It had the potential to be that because of the square footage and the amount of fire coming from the main fire structure, as well as it impacting the residential buildings that were across the street and next to it.
Now, are you able to talk at all about what was inside this warehouse or any of the initial indications of what started this fire, or do we need to talk with Battalion Chief Jetty?
So we're still at the very initial stages of our investigation. Per OPD, we were told that it was a grow house. We don't know if that's a legal grow house, illegal grow house. That'll all come out through the investigation. Right now, we're just making sure that the fire is completely out, and then we'll be able to get our investigators in to get a better understanding of what's going on internally.
Now, not lost on us that this is the 4th of July holiday. I'm sure that you guys were thinking that the action was going to be starting a little bit later in the night as the fireworks came out. But was it important that you guys had already upstaffed to be able to have the personnel to send here? Because as you said, you quickly went to that 4th alarm.
Yeah, so we upstaff in our hill companies. So our upstaffing are our type 3s that are roving through the hills. So they weren't part of this particular firefight. But what is most important is that we have all of our firehouses open. You know, so the fact that council has approved the budget and we've gotten all our firehouses open gives us the opportunity to get resources on scene as quickly as we did and keep the fire to the building of origin.
And any indication at this point, any injuries to civilians or firefighters?
Yeah, no, we're thankful that no one's been hurt. We have no report of injuries, civilian or firefighters. And they're just in there continuing to work to make sure that the fire is completely out.
And how long do you think firefighters will stay on scene here?
We'll have a presence here through the night because of the size of the building. There's going to be hot spots. People are going to continue to call because it's going to be smoking. So we'll have a presence here. We'll get crews back in service once the fire is completely under control, but we'll have a presence here throughout the night.
Chief, thank you so very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. And very glad that no one, it appears, was injured in this so far. So again, thank you, Chief. I know you've got a lot of work to do. So again, we are here on scene. We will be following this story throughout the night as it develops. But for right now, I think we've gotten you all the information that we can at this point. So we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, you certainly did. Katie, thank you so much for that report, and we'll continue to follow up with you. It's a busy day, obviously, at the 4th of July. All eyes on the sky. Thankfully, they got it out, Paul. And now we're just hoping that things will clear out in that area.
We've complicated the efforts of fire crews to get a handle on that. May have had a handle in spreading the fire when it initially got going, but the wind also kept us cool across the entire Bay Area for this 4th of July holiday. 83 was the warmest spot on the map. No 90s, no triple-digit heat. It's going to remain pleasant as we head through the rest of the weekend. We are checking out that fireworks forecast as well, coming up in First Alert Weather.
Crews in San Luis Obispo County still struggling to contain California's largest wildfire so far this year. Hundreds of firefighters battling it. Let's talk more about the weather conditions. We had a fire in Oakland. We've got fires throughout California. And we've got the 4th of July fireworks.
4th of July. So right now behind us, hey, it's clear.
Right.
That's good news.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can keep that around for another 3 hours or so till the fireworks get going. Let's check out Futurecast and its fog simulation as of 10 p.m. this evening. Again, most of the fireworks displays happening between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And there is some fog indicated, mainly in the Oakland Hills and then closer to the coast. Now, this doesn't mean these are the only patches of clouds we're going to see. This is where the fog is most likely. Ground level reducing visibility, marine stratus a little higher up in the atmosphere is likely, but fireworks mostly burst below that. So I think visibility is going to be fine in San Francisco, across the bay in Oakland, for most of the Bay Area as we head through the rest of this evening. What's the difference? We had that dense fog at ground level earlier in the week because, well, the atmosphere above our heads actually weighed more. There was an area of high pressure, just a hill of air in the atmosphere overhead that compressed the marine layer and really kind of condensed the fog closer to ground level. So it was thick, but the tops of the buildings downtown, our Salesforce Tower camera is looking over the top of that fog earlier in the week. Well, things have shifted. That hill of air in the atmosphere has moved away. The cloud cover lifted the past couple of nights, and the base of the clouds is around 1,000 to 1,200 feet. So instead of the tops of the buildings being over the fog, they're just underneath it. And again, that's the same height at which the fireworks tend to burst. So that's good news for visibility later on this evening. And the fog hasn't even redeveloped just yet, or the cloud cover. Temperatures mostly in the 60s. This is cool for the 4th of July, more reminiscent of Memorial Day or even Easter. 60 degrees downtown San Francisco, mid-70s in Santa Rosa, the warmest spot we can find on the map. And we're going to continue cooling off. It'll be down into the 50s later on tonight, so make sure you are layering up appropriately as you head out for those fireworks displays. Through the rest of the night, the fog is going to try to spread back out. Again, some low cloud cover instead of fog in most locations. But it doesn't take long for that to pull back out of the inland valleys and retreat to the coast as we head through the first hours of Saturday. And temperatures are going to manage to warm up to a greater extent than they did today, but still just a little bit below average. Let's check out those forecast highs for tomorrow, getting up into a mix of the 70s and 80s for inland parts of the Bay Area, only 74 in San Jose, but 83 in Morgan Hill. Some of the warm spots around Antioch and Brentwood, 86 degrees, mostly 80s east of the Oakland Hills. A mix of 60s and 70s around the Bay with upper 50s and low 60s at the coast. In the North Bay, 70s to the 80s. The farther inland you go, the warmer it's going to get, up to around 86 degrees near Healdsburg by tomorrow afternoon. In terms of a warm up a little bit farther down the line, well, we do have that headed our way. A little one-day heat wave in store for us. 7-day forecast inland shows temperatures staying in the 80s through the first half of next week. And then there is that one-day heat wave. On Thursday, temperatures are going to be an average of 95 degrees on Thursday, which means some of the coolest inland spots will be around 90. Some of the hottest inland spots will be approaching triple-digit territory, but for one day. Then we drop off several degrees, but as we finish next week on Friday. Temperatures around the Bay are also going to warm up, but it's going to be much more of a gentle warm-up for us, from the 60s to around 70, a little farther into the 70s on Thursday, and some spots Bayside are going to get up into the low 80s, but then back down to near normal temperatures as we finish the week. And at the coast, well, no sky July back in effect beginning already over the weekend. We'll see a little more sunshine breaking back through those clouds by Tuesday and Wednesday, with the warmest day on Thursday sending temperatures all the way up to 65 degrees. We'll take it, and the sunshine will make it feel a little bit warmer as well. Jules?
Sounds great. Thanks, Paul. When we come back, a look at July 4th celebrations happening around the Bay today and tonight. We'll be right back. In Montclair today, a small group came together in the East Bay to read the Declaration of Independence out loud.
Our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Hallelujah.
July 4th marks the day in 1776 when the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration announcing the colony's separation from British rule. We spoke with the neighbor who started the tradition. He says he reads the document every year because it serves as a reminder.
Remind us of what our forefathers fought against. I mean, I know in the past we actually had some Georges in the White House. And of course, this declaration is directed against King George. But it's interesting how many of the concerns and complaints and conditions that our forefathers referred to tend to recur.
Crowds lined the streets of Alameda today. The city claims they have the longest 4th of July parade in the country. They've had more than 150 entries with thousands of people going down the parade route.
We started today with the 5K race. Started here on Park. It went over to Webster. Yeah, we're just here enjoying the parade. The little guy just had some popcorn.
Aw, little guy. The city says about 60,000 people come to the parade every year. All right, let's go to San Jose. Getting ready for the drone show over Lake Cunningham, but they started the day with a parade and festival. It is the Rose White and Blue Parade through the Rose Garden neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm loving this parade. I live down the street. I walked here. I love San Jose. I love that everybody's here. Everybody's flying their flag. Look, you got the Vietnamese flag, you got the American flag. I love it. I love everybody.
The festival even had pro wrestling matches and free books for kids. The Lake Cunningham Drone Show starts at 9 tonight. All right, on to San Francisco. It's going to host the annual fireworks celebration tonight. CBS News Bay Area will be bringing you the fireworks show live on KPIX Plus. So the show starts at 9:30. It will also be streaming on the free CBS News app. And there are many more 4th of July celebrations throughout the day. If you're still making plans, all you have to do is just head to our website. We have a full guide showing where to find the fireworks shows and activities all across the Bay Area. Just head to KPIX.com. Paul Hagan says it's going to be a nice evening. Thanks so much for joining us. The CBS Evening News with Maurice Dubois and John Dickerson is next on KPIX. We have local news continuing on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back here in 30 minutes with more news just for you at 7 o'clock. We'll have another update on that Oakland fire in East Oakland. We'll leave you with some pictures now. Fortunately, it looks like it's dissipating. White smoke now, much better than the black smoke we saw about an hour earlier. Firefighters still on the scene. We hope to make this a safe 4th of July. We'll be back with more coverage. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at 7.